well. Is Zoo going to play today?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there going to be minutes limit on him?
Can't hear you.
Minutes limit on him?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And what about Norman and Rocco?
They'll play.
Do you have a starting lineup?
Same starters.
Same starters. So Norman and Rocco off the bench.
I can't really hear you.
Norman and Rocco off the bench.
Oh yes.
Okay. How did yesterday go? Meeting them for the first time and just interacting with the team and all that.
Oh, it was good. And I'm Norm, so that was just talking to Rocco and just get a feel for his basketball knowledge and how he feels about the game. It was good, and had a good dinner last night as well. So I had a chance to really talk to those guys and just talk about their careers and how they see themselves fitting with our team and things like that. So it was good.
Considering guys have been in and out, you've told us before that you really haven't been able to install all the offense you've wanted to. So with Norman and Rocco coming in, do you kind of just take a little bit more off the offense? And
they just talked to them at dinner last night. They pretty much ran the same stuff, so they understand what we're looking for. Just the biggest thing is those guys getting comfortable, understand who they're playing with on the floor, and pick and choosing their spots.
With a guy like Rocco, him and Nico together defensively, what does that kind of do in terms of lineups and allow you to kind of throw out there in order on that end of the floor?
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but I would like to see that for sure. Just having a guy who can defend, at a high level the way he does and, make the three-point shot. So we have a lot of length and, a lot of guys same size. And so it's going to be fun to try to get them all on the court at one point. Maybe not tonight, but at some point.
With the Bucks coming in, Drew Holiday, just what makes him an elite special defender on that side of the ball?
I think half the battle is just taking pride in being a defender. He really enjoys playing defense and taking the toughest matchup every single night. And, just talking to some of our guys, they just talk about how, what a great defender he is. And so half the battle just, wanting to play defense, but he takes a lot of pride in it.
Hey, Ty. You mentioned your relationship with Norm. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And
just playing against him in Toronto when he was in Cleveland. And Kyle Lowry is my guy, so just being around him in that regard. And then, he also lives in Vegas in the summertime as well. So I see him there as well. So I'm just seeing him around and just talking to him and being around him.
And you mentioned sort of the conversations you've had. Is that, you were traded a few times in your career. Is that something that you kind of learned along the way? That did you have coaches who sort of had those similar talks with you, and was that helpful, or didn't? And maybe that would have been helpful.
I can't remember. It was so long ago, but I have been traded a few times, and like I said, it's part of the business, and it's a tough part of the business, because guys you've been around and you have relationships with, it's tough to see those guys go, and so with Bledsoe and Justice and Keon, you're going to like those guys and. Those guys being part of the team and just seeing those guys every day. And now they're gone. That's the toughest part of the business. So just a hard day.
Hey, Ty, with popping only a handful of games away from becoming the winningest NBA coach in history, I wanted to ask you,
Say it again?
Pop's only a handful of games away from becoming the winningest coach in NBA history. Do you have a favorite Pop moment? And early on in your career, is there anything he said to you in your coaching career that really stood out to you?
He told me to be who I am. I think we played in my second or third game when I first started coaching, and he said, be who you are. And if those guys don't follow, then he said something else after that. But he basically just said, be who you are. And and I try to go by that. Just every day, just being me, being poised. Having fun around the guys. Just make sure everyone's loose and And then also, as far as accountability, if guys are doing the wrong thing, holding guys accountable and not be afraid to do that as well.
Hey, Ty, yesterday you mentioned that Terrence was going to kind of assume the backup point guard role in a position where I know you don't really have the positions, just give guys the ball and ask them to make the right play. But how do you feel like his experience from earlier this season can help that second unit this time around?
I think it'd be good. We're going to do it by committee, not just him, Norm. I think Amir can have some of that responsibility as well. And so, T-Man had Doc had him playing, backup point guard when he was here. So he has some experience doing it. And so we just got to help him out. It's going to take a little time for him. We understand that. So we got to be patient.
You'd mentioned before the last game that you really liked the group you had. And Lawrence mentioned yesterday too that when you're a coach, you get extremely attached to the roster you have and knowing how each guy fits, how hard they play. And because you've been through a couple of trade deadlines as a coach, does it get easier to sort of incorporate new pieces and see how they fit into a new group? Or is it something that each time is sort of this case by case for you?
It's case by case. I think it's tougher, especially when, but I mean, it's going to be a little easier, like I said, because, in Portland, we've run pretty much a lot of the same stuff. So that's going to be a lot easier to incorporate those guys offensively. And then defensively, like I said, Roy was here last year as well. So they do a lot of blitzing, a lot of rotating. So they understand that as well. So it shouldn't be too hard. And so that's one of the pluses behind this trade is that they don't have to come in and just start all the way over, offensively or defensively.
Ty, yesterday when we asked Lawrence about the point guard, backup point guard situation, he said you can never have too many wings. It's kind of what he's learned. Is that almost a good problem for you to have to kind of navigate through how you get guys minutes and figure out who works best?
Lawrence said that, huh?
Well, I asked him about the backup point guard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a lot of guys that deserve to play, it can get tough at times as well. When you got so many wings, so many guys at the same position. But like you said, having 6'8", 6'9" guys that can pretty much defend and shoot and put the ball on the floor, that is a great problem to have.
Well, how do you navigate through guys who should be playing, not playing as much, especially when you have two new guys coming in?
We shall see.